Okay, so we are moving forward with our Concept 2 notes. And I'm going to teach this just a little bit differently than lines up with the PowerPoint that's provided with this curriculum. So your notes may not match up perfectly, but this method is a lot easier and a lot more people understand it better this way. So this is the way that I prefer to teach it. So this is, I should say these are the metric system prefixes. So here in the middle, right, we've got our base units, right? So meter, gram, liters, seconds. So these are like your very basic kind of like in the middle. And then you can add these prefixes to these to get, they go on multiples of 10. So like a decameter is 10 meters, right? A hectometer is 100 meters. Kilometer or kilometer is 1,000 meters, right? Megameter would be 1 million, right? So primarily these are going to be the three that we will use of the larger ones, and then same thing here. We mostly use the three that are closest to it. But the ones underneath are going to be smaller than, so these are larger up at the top. Right, so these are bigger than the unit, and these are going to be smaller than our base units. So, for example, 10, let's say decigrams, right, is going to be equal to 1 gram. Right, 100 centigrams is 1 gram. 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. Right, 1,000,000 micrograms, and so on. Right, and then 1,000,000,000 nanograms would be 1 gram, right? So these are all smaller than our baseline, and these are larger. And it's very important that you are comfortable with where these fall on this kind of chart, especially these ones that we use the most. You need to know that a millimeter is smaller than a centimeter. You need to know that a decimeter is smaller than a decameter. You need to know things like a decameter is smaller than a kilometer. So these are all, you need to get comfortable with where these things are and which ones are bigger than others, because as we convert between them, you're going to need to keep that in mind. All right, so I feel like several of you have seen this before, right? It's a little cheesy, but it's a good kind of, I guess, a cheat sheet to remember how to do metric conversions and where they fall. So U here is our unit, right? So we've got King Henry died unusually drinking chocolate milk, right? So this is just a way to remember the order that they go in. So you've got kilometers, hectometers, decameters, right? Or liters or grams or seconds. You've got decimeters, centimeters, millimeters. So these are the order that they go in. And then here on the bottom, you see that if you are going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, you're going to move your decimal point however many spaces to the left. So let's say we're going from a decimeter to a kilometer. That means we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places to the left. So let me shrink this and let's kind of do an example. All right, so example 5 in your notes is how many meters are there in 48 kilometers. So we're going from 48 kilometers to meters. So that means since we're going from a larger unit to a smaller one, we're going to move our decimal point to the right. So we're going from here to here. We're going back to our base unit, which would be the meter. So we're going to move our decimal point 1, 2, 3 spaces to the right. So remember that the decimal point always is at the end of our whole number, right? So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then you fill those in with the zeros, right? So it's essentially the same thing as multiplying by 1,000. Okay, and then for example 6, it's how many kilograms are there in 45,456 milligrams. So for this one, let me erase this stuff we've got going on here. Right, we're going from milligrams to kilograms. So we're going from a smaller unit to a larger one. So we're getting bigger. So that means we have to move our decimal point to the left. So we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to the left. So it starts at the end, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means we have to add in a 0. So our answer is 0.0454556 kilograms. Okay, so I want you to take a minute, pause the video, and work through these practice problems so we can see how you're doing. And then we will talk about them and go over them. Okay, you should have paused the video and been working through these because it's important for you to practice this before you do your worksheet. So let's look at our first one. We're going from kiloseconds to seconds. So we're going from a big unit to a small one. So we're getting smaller. So we're going to be moving our decimal point to the right. So our answer should be 6,100 seconds. Okay, and then we're going from 0.859 milligrams to centigrams. So we're going from a smaller unit to a bigger one. So we're going to move our decimal point to the left, which is going to add in a 0. And then for our last one, we have 65.4 meters to millimeters. So we're going to move our decimal point to the right and get 65,400 millimeters. Okay, so you all have a practice page to complete for today. It's page 15. Go back, watch the video again. Please message me if you have any questions. And make sure that you post your assignment on LMS when you've completed it.